Hey guys, in 2025, I still like to ride my 2019 Commencal Metapower. I've given it a lot of thought, and I've come up with 12 reasons as to why I really like that bike. I want to share those with you today, so let's get into it. This is the bike I'm talking about. This is a 2019 Commencal Metapower. It has a 29 in the front and the back. It has a Shimano EEn100 motor. Right now I'm running the bike with a Zeb with 160 millimeters of travel in the front. I have a Topaz. This is a 210 by 55 rear shock. And in the back it has 140 millimeters of travel. This bike has been upgraded pretty consistently since I've had it. And right now, the only things that really is stock on the bike from when I got it is the frame and the motor and the head tube hardware. But basically, everything else I've changed out or modified over time. The first thing I like about the bike is that in 2019, in one of their first emtb shootout articles, the Lone Wolf reviewed the bike, and they concluded that the bike was a solid all-around e-bike. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst. It was just a solid all-around bike. So, I know that I'm riding a bike that basically has passed a test with someone who's knowledgeable and credible and has seen a lot of other bikes. Second thing about the bike that I really like is that it's a great all-around bike. You know, you can ride it in a trail situation, and the bike's very comfortable doing that. You know, it works well. It's feels pretty firm, and in a trail situation, it's not really wobbly or anything. Climbs good, just real nice on the trail. However, you can also stretch it into riding it in a more enduro settings. It does have enough travel where it can easily handle, very rough, technical, steep descents. And overall, it works well in a number of different settings. Next thing I really like about the bike is it's been very easy to upgrade the bike. All the, modern parts, the, larger forks, modern shocks, everything fits and works on the bike. Nothing nothing special on the bike that you have to worry about. No special shock or setup or whatever. So very easy to upgrade and change and experiment with the bike. The fourth thing I really like about the bike is that it's an alloy frame bike. Now that's a lot heavier than a carbon frame bike, but this bike with the carbon frame seems to make the bike feel really planted, and going downhill it's just a lot more fun. Also, with the alloy frame, I'm not worried too much about cracking the frame or damaging the frame in some way, or the frame somehow unexpectedly, catastrophically failing. It's a solid bike. The fifth thing I like about this bike is because it's made by Commencal, which is a reputable company that makes great bikes. The parts for the bike are still readily available. So looking for bearings when you want to upgrade the pivot bearings, or when if you need any parts for the bike, you can still go on the Commencal website, look up the bike, and find the parts you need. The sixth thing I really like about the bike is that the battery is externally mounted, and the battery is very easy to put on and to take off. So it's as simple as clicking it in. There you go. Battery's on. When you want to take the battery off, it's just as simple as turning the key and taking the battery off. Very easy on and off for the battery. The seventh thing I really like about the bike is that there are 3 different size batteries that you can buy that will fit on the same bike. On the far left is a 480 watt-hour battery. In the middle is a 504 watt-hour battery. And over on the right is a 630 watt-hour battery. All these batteries fit on the same bike, and they're pretty readily available out in the market. Now with the 630 watt-hour bike battery, let me just show you what that looks like on the bike. Needless to say, that battery is a larger battery, but it's available, it works well on the bike, and if you want to go out and ride with your buddies that have the 620 or 700 watt-hour batteries on their bikes, you can easily switch out and change up your bike to ride with them. The eighth thing I really like about the Commencal Metapower is that because it has the Shimano motor and the Shimano battery system, it's pretty easy to find a road bike that has the same battery configuration. Now, my road bike here has a Shimano EEn100 motor, but this bike uses the same battery setup that I use on my Commencal Metapower. Now, what that means is if you're out riding on the Metapower and you don't discharge the battery as much as you would like to store it, you can bring the bike home, clip the battery onto the road bike, and ride that bike until you discharge the battery down to a level where you want to store the bike. And you know, it just makes battery management so much easier having the same battery work on both a mountain bike and on a road bike. The ninth thing I really like about the bike is that Shimano has a switch here. This is a EEn100, and I just put a battery on the bike and turned it on. And what this does, it allows you to integrate the bike with a Garmin watch. Now, it doesn't work on all Garmin watches, but on certain Garmin watches it does work. And as you can see, I have it set up. There are many different ways you can set the watch up, but here, just to show, I have the range or the distance that I've ridden, and it shows that the remaining battery percentage of this battery is 25%. So I really like that integration with Garmin. The 10th thing I really like about this bike is that it has a Shimano motor. And the motor mounts for the Shimano Motors are all the same, meaning that you can mount any modern Shimano motor on the bike. Now here I have an E8000, which is on the bike, but here is a Shimano EP800, which has the same mounts and which will mount on the bike. Now, to put this motor on that bike will require some changes that I'm not going to go into here. But the Shimano Motors can be purchased by consumers, and they can be mounted and changed on the bike. The 11th thing I really like about the bike is that these bikes are obviously very dated, and you can still find relatively good ones to purchase. I've seen them as cheap as the low 2000s. Some of them are around the 3000 range, but for a relatively low price, you can get a really decent e-bike. The 12th and final thing I really like about this bike is how it rides. The bike really feels good. It's very easy to set up. It's very responsive to changes in the suspension setup, and it just really rides well. I've been on other more modern bikes that don't ride as well, in my opinion. There are bikes, though, I have ridden that do ride better. I'm not going to lie to you, but it does ride really well. It does exactly what it says. In this particular configuration, I have it set up with an air shock, but it works well with a coil shock also. And like I said, it's a lot of fun just to take the bike out and ride it. A great bike to ride. Well, there you have it, guys. That's the 12 reasons I like to ride my Commencal Metapower, even though it's a 2019 bike. I hope I've given you something to think about, and I'll see you guys at the top.